What if music was gamified? What if you could earn an income from your predictions? Well, we finally made it to the interview series for Music Pro 26. In this series, you may see my personality coming out a little bit more. I'm really letting it fly. This may be foreign to you. I thought I would let you know in advance in case you're going, something doesn't totally add up here. But with that, let's get to my interview with Justin Longo. Well, it's David Andrew Wiebe here with Justin Longo at the Musicians Institute, specifically at the Music Pro 26 conference. Justin, it's been a while. Not only that, but we actually haven't met in person. This is the first time. So how you doing?
Good. I'm doing well. You're taller in person. I will say
taller. I've been told that before. Taller and thinner and better looking. No, I give myself too much credit there probably. So Justin, certainly want to catch up with you on MariNation. I know that's your main project, and it's actually been a little while since we talked. And so I also know things have evolved a bit in that space. So what's happening?
So originally we were a investment platform where you could invest into artists. We've pivoted to a prediction market similar to how Kalshi and Polymarket are. Now we are specifically geared towards predicting music events. We're a skill-based music prediction market is what we are right now.
Skill-based music prediction market.
Correct.
So what does that look like in practice compared to?
So essentially it is an event. So take an artist or a show or whatever it is, and you can predict on the outcome. So for example, a big music event was the halftime show with Bad Bunny. You know, Kalshi and Polymarket covered what song is he going to play first and all the like.
Okay.
We're more skill-based where it's raw numbers and streams and data, so that you have to do a little research and kind of know music knowledge in order to make this prediction. You obviously could take an educated guess, but, you know, we're more skill-based rather than just chance and luck.
Okay. So it's kind of like making educated guesses in a way. I hate to use the term gambling, but I would say you've gamified investing in music.
That's a great way to say it, yes.
Wow, that's really interesting. And so how are the users finding this? Are they enjoying?
Yes. So currently we haven't launched yet. We have about 200 people on our wait list, which is exciting. It seems like this is a really interesting thing that people are inclined to do. The thing that we're really focused on is helping artists make supplemental income while they're growing their careers too. You know, they know a lot about music, music theory, and all the different things that artists need to do in order to, promote their music. So using that knowledge to place an educated prediction, we'll call it, or bet, to make it easier to understand, that would allow people to, be more successful with this.
I know you've had to retool your app a number of times, and it sounds like it's currently in development as well. But how many times has it now been making those pivots in your business?
It's been probably. I started out selling emails. I was scraping emails on Instagram for artists and all that. You know how you can look on their bio and click the email. We scraped emails, sold those to producers. That didn't go so great. We gave a lot of emails away for free, which is
love
nice.
The entrepreneurial spirit of it. I do.
So that was one. The next one was this kind of crowdfunding platform for early stage artists. That didn't go so great. We kind of illegally invested people's money in the stock market for them. That did well. Everybody got a return on that, but we weren't licensed to do that. Just keep that between you and me.
Yeah.
that we pivoted from that, and now we're at this intersection of music prediction and gamification.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So 4 or 5 iterations.
You've gone through a few different things there. And look, I love the enterprising spirit of it all. I know some people are going to be like, well, that sounds shady or unethical. But
yeah,
I would say, look, even Dan Kennedy, who's I would consider a mentor at a distance, he would say, I can profit from my email list or my list either way. Mm-hmm. One, I can send them emails and products. And for those who unsubscribe, I can sell their emails. or contact information. So, and it's just, Dan's really hilarious that way. But Is it fair to say, it was kind of my impression, but it could totally be wrong, that this was something that you kind of originally thought about or got started in the pandemic because of the popularity of things like Robinhood and investing and things to come, of course, crypto investing and whatnot?
Yeah, that's a great memory.
Yeah.
We did start in 2020. I was producing music. I produced music for a number of years, and I was really financially stretched at that time because I'm an all or nothing, like burn the boats type of mentality. I think you can have success either way, right? Sarah Blakely worked a sales job until she made Spanx into $1 billion company. Elon Musk slept on a couch and ate hot dogs. So
Yeah.
there's these two different beliefs about going for your goal and dream in life. But anyway, I burned the boats, was a music producer for a couple of years in San Diego, California, and I was very stretched financially, and it was weighing on me, and I was trying to come up with different ways to financially support myself, and also maybe create a business out of this to help other people so that they don't have to go through these things. Obviously you won't be able to eliminate it totally, but we can create some additional revenue streams to help. And that's what the original goal of MariNation is and has always been.
Yeah, of course. And, it's being, people being given that opportunity is a huge thing because income diversification and people always want to be able to create different income streams. But what you said about entrepreneurship is really interesting. And so like one of those phrases that frequently gets thrown around, right, is do whatever it takes. And so you obviously came to that moment and you had a decision to make in terms of whatever it takes meant to you. But what are your thoughts on that whole culture of having to make those difficult decisions?
Look, I think that this is, a lot of artists and musicians will see this, and it is okay to have a job, a part-time gig, or a full-time gig in order to support yourself. If you live in a major music city, which is Nashville, Los Angeles, New York City, they're very expensive to live in, especially New York City and Los Angeles.
Yeah.
So it's okay to have a job, a part-time income stream, or whatever it is to support yourself financially. And it's necessary because at the early stages, it's really difficult for artists to make substantial money, especially with streaming nowadays, making 0.0034 cents per stream. So my thoughts are, I've worked part-time jobs in order to support myself for this dream and this goal. And I think it's okay for other people to do that. You need to take care of your cost of living, right? We need to eat and have shelter and water, right?
Yeah.
And then everything else, we're going for the goal and the long-term vision.
Yeah. This is going to sound strange to some of you, but we've all got bills. Even I've got bills. It's hard to believe David Andrew Wiebe never talks about bills. I mean, come on. We've all got expenses, right? Cost of living and food and all that kind of stuff. And as you said, Vancouver's not a whole lot cheaper either, by the way. Los Angeles being, kind of comparable nowadays. Might be a little pricier here, but we are, there is a bit of a discrepancy between US dollars and Canadian dollars, only by a multiple of about 1,000. I joke. It's not that much. But otherwise, how are things coming along then? What are you looking forward to here in 2026?
It's coming along really well. We're using all of these pivots and these iterations to learn along the way, right? And now I'm at this intersection where I'm using all this knowledge that I've accumulated from these different failures and iterations. And one of the things that I failed to do or focus mainly on is marketing and advertising. I think there's two sides to success in this. It's a product. So this is how I look at it. I look at everything as a business context. So artists and producers and musicians, they're a business if they want to have a career and all that. Your product is the song. And then the other side of it is getting people to look at the song. A very simple first principles way of looking at it. So I focus mainly on the product, right, in these different iterations, and failed to do a large marketing initiative. TikTok, Reels, videos, content, volume, that's like my main focus, or in addition to the product. So make a great product and get people to watch it, get people to use it, get people to listen to it, share it. That's the main focus, what I'm looking at this year.
Are you worried about algorithm updates, like, at all? Look, it doesn't matter whether you're on Google, YouTube, or Facebook. Every platform has an algorithm, and the attention you get, even your latest music release, is 100% dependent on how the platforms prioritize views. The latest Google update caused blog traffic to tank. It's really volatile out there right now, especially with the emergence of AI. Isn't it time you started locking in your backup plan? What you need is an email list. My recommendation, get started with Kit, an email marketing platform built specifically for creators. Go to davidandrewwiebe.com/convertkit or use the QR code on screen to start building your email list today, because before long, it might be the only way you can reach your audience. This ad is not endorsed by Kit. This is a personal recommendation of David Andrew Wiebe. If you purchase through his affiliate link, he will receive a commission at no cost to you. This show is supported by its listeners and viewers. Thank you for your support.
Yeah. I think Andrew Dubber said, and I don't know how much it applies as it used to, but it certainly was the case, hear, like, buy. Mm-hmm. If people don't hear it, they're not going to have a chance to like it. If they don't like it, they're not going to have a chance to buy it, or they're just not going to buy it because they don't like it. Nowadays, for musicians, I don't think the song alone is the product. The message, the relationship, the community, the tribe that you belong to, the ways in which you become a tastemaker to bring people into cool venues or lounges or places that you've never been to, like other people have never been to before. So introducing your audience to stuff like that, that to me is the real currency of a musician. If people are worried about AI, I'm telling you, that's where it's at. You got to sell relationship, sell community, sell your message, because that's what people are going to gather around. And be sure to organize your activity around those 3-4 pillars.
It's a great point, and you brought up AI, and innovation has its pros and cons, right? And regardless of AI and technology, there's a lot of saturation in the market for music, right? And how you break out of the noise is you do these principles and things that have worked in the past and will always work regardless of technology, which is cultivate a loyal, true fan base, right? 1,000 True Fans, Kevin Kelly.
Yep.
You can go read that little plug for him in his blog or article. Cultivate a loyal audience, produce and put out a lot of volume. Like I'm telling you about content, we're going to do a lot of volume because it's a numbers game. The more darts you throw at the board, the more likelihood you get a bullseye. You know, loyal fan base, a lot of volume, a lot of songs, a lot of content, and then the rest is just continuing to do that. And with volume, you get better as an artist and making music, and you get better as a marketer. And you know, the leverage in the music industry is content and followers, and it's eyeballs, right? Because labels want to see people who have a following, they want to see people who have an audience, and then they can infuse some capital in them, and then on they go.
And this is good because I wanted to touch base on this as well. Like, since the last time we talked, AI has emerged as a predominant technology. So I guess that's how long it's been since we last talked, basically.
Yeah.
But how has that changed your mindset or your approach to what you're doing now? Because you said content, and I know producing it at scale, there's certain efficiencies with AI, I would say. It's not like it's an expert at producing the best quality content for your business, but you can definitely gain efficiencies, whether it's transcripts or turning those transcripts into summaries of Facebook posts and posts for Twitter or X nowadays. So where have you landed on this?
So currently we are using AI to create some content. Obviously, it's not, you can distinguish between real and fake, I think, nowadays. Yeah. It's probably going to get to the point where you can't in maybe a year or so. It's coming very fast.
It might.
So the way I see AI is we've posted a lot of things. We've grown our TikTok to have a pretty good following now, and we just started that last year. And I've seen a lot of comments about people saying, AI is bad and it's evil and all of this thing, the music industry should be this way and it shouldn't be this way. You have to adapt to the current landscapes. You have to adapt to the current climate of the world, of how these technologies are progressing. Just because you want things to go back to selling CDs out of your trunk and stuff, it's not going to be like that. Or people paying for music.
Yeah.
People will never pay for music ever again. They'll find a way through piracy, or now it's completely legal to get free music on these streaming platforms. Now, the thing that would benefit and behoove people is to look at these technologies to enhance their own career instead of fighting against them as competitors. Use AI to create song lyrics like in a second, to draft ideas and be a collaborator. Use AI to help you with producing and mixing and mastering and all of that. There's tons of technologies being developed on mastering a complete song very fast. So use AI as a catalyst to your career instead of a competitor. Use it as a collaborator instead of, trying to combat it or change the way it is, because the AI companies, they're billions and trillions of dollars worth of, now, and they have the smartest people in the entire world working on these, and they're backed by huge institutions, so they're not going anywhere.
Definitely. And Steve Vai said in an earlier session, how is AI going to be your servant? Mm-hmm. And that should certainly be your focus. However you conceive of it or however you frame it is going to enter your reality. So if you say worlds are going to be catastrophic because of AI, your world will be catastrophic because of AI, because you're manifesting it and you're constantly creating it through your thoughts and your actions and your behaviors and everything else. I'm not a whistleblower. I happen to work in prompt engineering and media, AI generated media, specifically images, pictures, and videos. My opinion, and this is just independent research, it has nothing to do ultimately with my work, but in my opinion, LLMs have not gotten better in 2 years, to be honest. We've had tack-ons, we've had little features. ChatGPT can now generate images, yay! And we are still so far from kind of the fear aspect of it. The news loves, because their business is getting headlines clicked and viewed. That's their business. So media is super intent on convincing you of AI doom. And that's one thing you want to try to move away from, in my opinion, because it's not accurate. And you're going to hear about job layoffs. I'm telling you, probably within 2 or 3 years, most of those people are going to be hired right back, because these AI tech guys are coming in and saying, we can install an AI system and run your company. And it turns out they don't have a clue how to run the system, nor does anybody else in the company. And all it's doing is sucking up their budget. So this is real. This is happening, people. I'll also add to your point, I think there's one way to sell music, and it's not selling music, weirdly. It's selling bundles. This still works. But it's about creating something of value or something of perceived value by your audience. What would they like? And if you include your CD in there, it just looks like a value add. It's a value stack, right?
Absolutely.
And
an add-on.
You get the physical CD, you get the digital download, you get the remix. You can keep stacking the value and people will buy that.
That's a good way to collaborate and mesh the two of them, I think.
Yeah.
Digital and physical.
And this is where sometimes at conferences like these, I'm just shaking my head, but sometimes at conferences like these, people say entrepreneurship and music is impractical for musicians. And I say a value stack could totally apply to a musician.
Yeah.
The Dream 100 concept of finding 100 people who have access to your audience and then making relationships with them and getting shout outs from them is totally relevant. So I don't understand where the disconnect is. Maybe I'm brilliant and they're stupid. I don't know.
I'm on the I agree with that. Jay-Z said, I'm not a businessman, I'm a businessman.
There we go.
And if you're a musician, independent artist, you're signed to a label, whatever it is, you are a business. You make revenue, you have investors if you're with a label, and you have to look at your career as a business, because you're a 1099 independent contractor. Like, you're classified as that. And you do all the things that businesses do. You have a product, you have marketing, you need to sell that product, you need to cultivate your customers, which is your fans. It's all related. And it is necessary for artists and musicians to have, obviously, people who understand the music business side of things, but you also need to understand that too when you're talking about like contract negotiations and all that stuff. And it's just a benefit to you to know business in music, or know business in general, because, as you know, in the music industry, way back when, I don't know, may happen less now, but labels take advantage of people, management takes advantage of people. And if you understood that, or got a third party lawyer to look over your contract and knew about the mentality about how you need to go through these things, you probably would avoid a lot of these traps.
Yeah. I couldn't agree more. And MI here's got apparently program on music business, which is great. I haven't seen it. I don't know how good it is, but I imagine it's Musicians Institute. After all, I would say they probably have pretty good perspective on what's going on out there. Sometimes it's probably just the framing that turns musicians off. Mm-hmm. You could call it business. You could call it entrepreneurship. You could call it marketing. I don't know, maybe just find a term that makes you feel comfortable about it. But we're basically talking about the same thing at the end of the day. Because I said earlier, sell relationship, that might turn some people off too. But you want to start shaking hands with these ideas. Again, frame them how you will, but it is about relationship. Mm-hmm. Music business is a people business. Every business is a people business at the end of the day, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And you and me are going to be sitting on the big stage one of these days instead of in this little coffee.
I don't know what we're doing here. Just tell me.
We'll be on the main stage, because this conversation, I'm sure they have some good speakers, but this would be incredible for other people to hear that, whether they agree with what we're saying or not.
I think so. I just haven't gotten my doom, guys. Like, I don't know what the visibility issue is here. Let's just put it like it is. Award-winning entrepreneur, award-winning composer, award-winning author, and best-selling author. I got all of the stuff, a lot of the stuff that some of these people here don't even have. Steve Vai, sure, he's a Grammy Award winner and all that kind of stuff. But I've been told I'm a pretty decent interviewer, and have been doing this for quite a while.
Yeah. We got to be undeniable, right?
Undeniable.
So good they can't say no.
And visible. Well, nobody can say we haven't been visible today, because we negotiated our way into this room.
Made it happen.
We made it happen.
That's all that counts. We made lemonade out of lemons.
We sure did. Well, what do you think? Should we go and check out some more of the conference?
Sure.
This has been great, Justin. Really appreciate your time. Really appreciate you coming out. I know you only have a couple of hours here today, but I'm glad you came out so we could do this.
Thanks for having me. It was a pleasure to meet you, Dave.
Great to meet you.
Hey, thanks so much for watching. Take a moment to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Look forward to sharing more with you.